What is an appraisal and how can it increase my home's value? You're going to want to stick around for this. Hi, this is Denise from Vivid Lifestyle Realty, your go-to source for all things real estate and lifestyle in beautiful Corona, California and the surrounding areas. And today we're going to talk about a topic that is very confusing to a lot of people. We get a lot of questions about this. It's what is an appraisal, what is an appraiser, and how can that increase, and things that you can do to increase the value of the appraisal. So first we're gonna start out with, what is an appraisal? Well, a home appraisal is a professional evaluation of the market value of your property. And so while it's not exactly, it is done usually pretty much all of the time by a licensed appraiser. And they've had to go through classes and conditions and keep up with market conditions in order to stay relevant to the real estate industry, because an appraisal is a very, very, very big deal in the transaction. Because if you get an appraisal done and people want to price their homes too high and it comes in low, if you're a buyer with a mortgage, you're going to have to either say the property was $300,000, which isn't really anywhere near what our values are in the general area in the general area that we serve, but we'll up it. Say it's 800,000, and it should be about 750,000, 760,000, but the sellers just want to price it at 800,000. We can recommend, we can give articles, we can do comparables in the area, which is just showing other homes that are like yours and what they've sold for, what they're on the market for, to give everybody kind of a range. But it's the seller's home, it's the seller's money. If they'd like to increase it, even going against our judgment and the judgment of what the market and what things are selling at, they can absolutely do that. The only problem with that, it's the biggest problem with not pricing your home right. It will sit on the market. People do their homework, so consumers are going to be doing their homework, and they're going to know that you're overpriced, and they're going to choose other homes over yours. And so if you keep it in a price range that maybe it's 750 to 780 and you want to do 780, that is much better. You can kind of possibly adjust the price later on, but pricing it right out the gate is because when you're on the market longer, it doesn't look good to consumers. When it's on for quite a bit, they're going to say, oh, well, that's cool. We'll put an offer on this house that's low, and we're going to ask for a whole bunch of things because they're not selling. So something's got to be wrong. And so if you price things right out the gate, in a range that's smart for your home, then you're going to get more traffic. You're going to sell your home faster at a higher value, with even maybe multiple offers on that. So it's super, 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 super important to price your home right out the gate. So it really, really is the number one thing that makes, because then you're paying mortgage another month, you're paying all your utilities another month, and it really has a very harsh effect on your home. And then on the people looking, oh cool, it's been on the market 120 days, we're gonna get things at a discount, and that's not good for the agent, it's not good for the seller, it's not good for the home, it's not good for the buyer. So you just want to really right out of the gate, right from the beginning, right from the start, you want to price it right. So an appraiser is licensed, and what they do, an appraisal, like I was saying before, is really kind of the estimation of how your property is priced for the market that it's in. And a lot of times they're going to use, like for us, and if you have a really good agent, I give the appraiser comparables. So everything that's pending, that's for sale or that has sold in the general, maybe within the last 3 months or currently that's on the market, I make sure they have a full blown CMA, so a comparable market analysis, so that they can see, hey, I'm looking at all these other homes that are very like the property that I'm appraising. So it just gives them a little bit of extra to go off of rather than just reports and different things that they go off of, or maybe they don't see something. I know in their hands, they're going to have, like, if you go lower than that, you're not, you didn't judge something properly. So it's very important to be prepared and give them something or digitally send it to them before they come out so that they're already aware of what's going on in that general market. Because if you're an appraiser, it doesn't mean you just serve one market. You could be going all over the place, and it's very helpful to them. And it's also very helpful to you and your client and the seller even, because when things are priced right and it goes smoothly, it's helpful to everybody involved in the transaction. They're going to look at things like location. Are you near restaurants and a lot of things that are in the general area? Are you near freeways that make commuting easier? Are you, where there's, shops and daycare and highly rated schools? Those things definitely make a difference. Location. Also, what have you done to the property that would add value? A lot of things that do add value to a home are the master bedroom and bathroom updates. Kitchen updates is a huge one. Some backyard and front yard renovations that will add curb appeal or kind of the wow factor. A lot of times nowadays, carpet is obviously one of the biggest things. It's the thing that holds odor. They have stains. So even when you replace carpet, with carpet, like for us, we have dogs, and hardwood was very popular and still is very popular, but it is very hard to clean. And if dogs, cats, pets are very, 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 like 79% of households have pets. And so we have 3 bigger dogs. And if you have hardwood floors and they do a zoomie and slide across it, it's scratching your whole floor up, and it's just way too hard. So for us, upstairs, downstairs, we have tile, and we have upstairs that looks like hardwood floor, but it's tile. You can drool, slide, you can do a zoomie, and it doesn't matter. I just take my Shark vac mop, or you could take a steamer or a broom, and boom, it's done like that. If there's any kind of accidents that happen, boom, done like that. Super clean, super great for people that have allergies, but a lot of things that were very important before. Now, mind you, if you are going to do carpeting, medium grade carpeting, it is a lower price point, but even if you did upgraded vinyl planks, something like that. We just did that to our investment properties. It looks really nice. It's very sturdy. It's really, really great, and it increases the appeal, but it also is a lot cheaper than if you did porcelain tiles. So there's a lot of different choices, but any kind of upgrades they're going to be looking for, and then you're also going to look at the comparables of the market. They're going to be looking at that too. You also want to make sure you read the full appraisal when it comes in. Everybody will get a copy of that, so that you can make sure that they are appraising it, because you can, if an appraisal comes in too low and you don't it's not matching up with the area and what's happening in the market in that general area, you can definitely say, hey, I don't like how this is going, and you can kind of oppose the appraisal, and they will they can re-look at it again. So that is definitely a fact. If it comes in low, you can try again and say, hey, this is not what's happening in the market, and I don't agree with your appraisal. And it can definitely spark some, let's start again, or hey, maybe I missed some things, and balance it out. But it's very important in the transaction that the appraisal comes in at what the offer is or somewhere around. And it's very important as an agent that you talk to the seller and the buyer and you're very, very clear on, hey, if the appraisal comes in low, this is what's going to happen. But usually if you price it right with what's happening in the market at that time in that area for what they have in the property, it is very, you're usually going to come in pretty good. And when markets shift and change, like the last 3.5 years, a lot of times appraisals will fluctuate with what's happening to the market right then. So it's just a really important thing to make sure that, you understand what an appraisal is, that you understand what an appraiser does, and that you have an agent that's going to really, really be informed in this process and let you know every step of the way what's happening. And as a seller, you really want to make sure that, for what your house is on the market for, to get a fast sale at the maximum amount, to keep things moving along smoothly, you want to make sure it's priced right. That saves so many problems from happening right from the get-go. So here are a few things that can increase your appraisal value, and that maybe appraisers will be looking at as they're going through your property. Number one is create curb appeal, and that can be curb appeal on the front, but also you want some kind of, it's not curb appeal, but it's appeal in the back too. So if you have holes and you have half of your grass missing, it's not going to show as well, because people aren't just going to go to the front, they're going to go throughout the whole house. So as you're looking to do curb appeal in the front, some easy things, and we've talked about this in our other YouTube videos, so please go check that out if you want to know about curb appeal and things that can help, easy things that you can fix that can increase your home's value. You can check us out. It also always helps us so much if you subscribe, like the video, and you hit that button. We appreciate you, and we appreciate when you guys help us out like that, so we can help you out and provide value. So you curb appeal, you can paint the trim. That's a big thing. When you stand back from your house, even I've been guilty of, as an agent, you stand back and you go, oh, my garage is faded, the trim is faded. I didn't think about that. I'm like, what is the HOA talking about? And I look back, objectively and say, okay, yeah, it don't look at it as your property and I put all this in there. Just look at it. If I was driving by, what could I do to improve my property? Little things like change the door, paint the door, make sure things are tidy. All weeds and leaves and everything are blown away and raked up and taken care of. If you have empty spots, just add some potted plants, or go to Home Depot or Lowe's or your local plant store, and you can put in some plants that add color and kind of make it eye-catching. So you want to do some things. Succulents and different drought-tolerant plants are really great in California. They take less water. You can use drip irrigation, and they stay, they're pretty hardy, so they're easier to take care of. And it gives a unique look too, because succulents are really cool. They're never the same. They add little interest and creativity to your property as well. Some of the things I was saying too, rubber mulch is a little bit more expensive per bag, but it does not fade. It does not give splinters. It does not blow away as fast. So you're putting a bigger investment up front, but in the long run, we have rubber mulch, and 8 years later, and also if you have pets, there's no wood. So it's good for the environment, and it also doesn't give your furry babies splinters. So just adding like little mulch, even if it's regular mulch or rubber mulch, adding that like uniqueness or something, the appeal where it's not faded and half blown away. And then just make sure things are tidy. A little coat of paint here and there really makes a difference. Plants and flowers really make it welcoming. A nice welcome mat if you don't have one, or your welcome mat's torn up. I usually will provide that if a home doesn't have that that I'm selling, but it really makes it like when you say welcome, or you have like a thing of flowers, or welcome, or our house, we have a little flag every single holiday that's in the front. And then when it's not a holiday, we have this house is made of love and paw prints, because we love free babies and we're passionate about that. So yeah, it's really important just to do the little things in the front that make it clean, and then drive by without thinking about your property, compare it to some other properties and say, hey, this really stands out now. It makes people notice. They're going to notice every house as they're driving down, and you want yours to kind of have that pop of color or that pop of uniqueness, and nice and neat and clean and refreshed, and that makes a big difference. And then the next one we're going to talk about is staging inside and out. Now, there's a few ways to go about this. Sometimes, to me, staging always definitely helps, especially if you have dated areas or too many things or too much clutter. It really helps to clear things out. So you can absolutely, we can get a stager, you can hire a stager, and they can put furniture, but that doesn't mean how they stage the home. It might look beautiful, but it might not be somebody's taste, no matter what, whether it's too modern, too traditional. You kind of want a mix of like in between where it can go for both. A lot of times I find that I'll stage the property with what they have. It's just less. You take all the clutter, all of the, decluttering, you make it nice and clean, you start packing things up, and you make it an area that people can see their family living in and their items in. So just keep it kind of neutral. I use their items. I'll buy some pillows and different things, and fresh flowers and different things like that. So when people walk through, it's refreshed, it's new. So sometimes, whether it's professional staging or just staging with the things that you already have, that's a very important. And that's also outside as well, whether you get rugs or potted plants in your backyard, or you make sure you buy grass seed or sod, and you make sure all your sprinklers are working right. Those are very, very important things to do inside and out, to kind of have it staged where when people walk through, they're not seeing how you lived and all your clutter and all of your items. They're seeing the things that they want to see if they lived there and they pictured themselves in the area. So that's always, you want it warm and inviting. I always say, like, if you add a candle that's like fresh baked cookies, I love that too. And there's a few things too when you're staging. A lot of real estate agents, and this happened more back in the day, but they want to like bake and cook things because it smells good. But you also have to think too, if you're getting your house professionally cleaned and everything's nice and clean and everything's going, beautifully, and it's all ready to go, you don't want to have to worry about someone starting a fire, someone burning the cookies, making your oven dirty where you're having to clean it again. I think sometimes buying, baked goods or whatever, and then having like a sugar cookie candle or a pumpkin apple candle, something that's warm and inviting, is very, or a room freshener is very important, rather than just, taking that risk on of baking something in someone's oven, because if you break it, real estate agent, it's coming out of your pocket. So it's better to just be safe than sorry, and kind of keep things as like store-bought items, also for safety purposes. And then, when your house is cleaned and all ready to go, you want to kind of keep it that way. So the next thing we're going to be talking about is when you make updates, it really pays off. How many people, I am so guilty of this, especially right now, something breaks in your house or is wobbly or your door doesn't open properly and everything, and you leave it and you leave it and you leave it. 2 years later, your door still doesn't work. There's a lot of things that can go wrong with that. Yes, things are expensive with inflation and everything. Yes, it's really hard to get good people to come in as well and do. Vendors have been really hard for us lately, and we treat people really well and we'll use them forever. But it is really important to find people that do a good job and kind of hold on to them. If that, if you can find someone, keep them for life. That's what I say. As long as they're doing a good job, it helps everybody out. Also, you want to make sure when things break, just get them fixed, because now instead of just needing a new door handle, you're going to need a new door and a frame and everything. Things just get worse. It gets more expensive, and then you don't want to do any of it. But let me tell you, when people walk through and they can't open the door and they can't see in the bathroom and the light switch doesn't work, all of those things are super negative, and they can definitely affect the appraisal. So you want to make sure that you keep things, fixed up. And if you waited till the last minute, you're going to have to do this big thing where you're fixing all of that, because all of those little things add up to big. And if appraiser's walking through and they can't open doors and they can't do things like that, that's going to be, or they see a lot of clutter and it's not staged properly, that has a big effect on what their appraisal will be as well. And so also, you want to keep track of improvements. I tell all of my clients this, even when they're not my clients, my neighbors, whoever talks to me, because I like to be a resource for people, whether or not you're doing a transaction now or in 5 years. So I help people constantly, businesses, the community. And one of the things is, oh, I did this, this, and this, and this. Oops, but I don't have any of my receipts. So just have a plumber, just all of your different things in a file folder. And when the plumber comes, you just stick it right in there, the invoice right in there. Or like we like to do too, there's something called Turbo Scan. If you don't have Turbo Scan, no matter what you do in life as a real estate agent, it's amazing. But Turbo Scan, for what you pay for it, is a lifelong thing. My husband has had it forever, I think like 15 years. And then I got on board and I love Turbo Scan. So you can scan documents, it straightens things out. The quality and color, it improves. But if you have something that's important, a business receipt, a gas receipt, something that a business luncheon, you have the plumber coming, you can scan that and you can create a file folder that will say, plumbing or flooring or whatever the case may be, or home improvements, and you can put the dates on there, the invoices right in there, and you just put it in the folder. And if you need to pull anything up, you can just pull it up. You can save it digitally. You can save it, have a hard copy, and then you have everything. But buyers love to see, here you go. Here's my folder of everything that I've had done in the house. And that is huge for the appraisal, for the buyer. It just makes things a lot more organized, and it can really, really show, hey, oh my gosh, they've done all of this, and so it makes it, that wow factor, like they're organized, they have everything. Because just like when you go into a restaurant, they say, check out the bathroom of where you're eating, and if it's terrible, you don't know what's happening behind the scenes other places. And so it is really important when you're organized and clean and neat, even if you aren't and you've just done everything before you put your home on the market. It really makes a difference to people coming in, like appraisers and buyers. So it makes it really great for you too, because you have everything that you need. Whoa, my light almost fell over. Woo! It's windy out here. And so, yeah, that really helps for the appraisal, and it really helps just in general to have everything nice and neat. You can also do that on your phone. You can create files for home improvements. And we just got a new fur baby, and he's out here jumping on me. So this is what happens when you go live, But anyway, life happens, and it's so good. I'll take a hug any day, babies. But yeah, so you want to make sure that things are organized and neat. It helps you in your personal life. It helps with the sale. It helps with the appraisal. And so we're going to move on. Sorry, I just need to move that up. And so this is a huge one. You want to listen to your, as a buyer, you want your agent to listen to you. As an agent, you want to listen to your buyers. And as a seller, you want to make sure that you're aware of this too. Really, what do buyers want? When they come through an open house, I really will talk to the seller every time. After that, I update them. And I wish it had this. I listen to everything that's going on, and I ask for feedback so that, oh, I wish it had this. Oh, I don't like this carpet. Oh, that stain that you didn't think was going to be a big deal. Every single person that came through mentioned it. And so it's very good to know what are buyers looking for right now. So maybe in the 90s, you had white tiles on your countertop in your kitchen and your bathroom. You had a lot of carpeting, and you had a lot of, when we moved into our first home, they had like we wanted ceiling fans, and you hit the light switch. They had lamps everywhere. They had no ports for ceiling, no electricity in the ceiling to put ceiling fans or lights or anything. And it was like, whoa, we didn't even think about that. And sure enough, like we did, added can lighting and ceiling fans and everything. But we're like, oh man, we didn't even think about that. So that might have been okay then. When you have white tiles and everything and oak cabinets and things are kind of falling apart, people notice that now because that's not what the style is. It's stone and granite and, quartz and different things like that, or unique materials that are harder, easier, they're going to last longer, they're not as porous, and every little thing doesn't show up, and they don't have tons of grout. So a lot of, you got to be aware of what the styles are, and if you have to update some things, definitely do it as a coming soon, rather than when you're on the market or before you even put your home on. A quality realtor will come through, let you kind of know, you're thinking, oh, I have to do this whole remodel, and a lot of times that's not the case. It's the little things that make a big difference. But if you've had your carpet since 1975 and your countertops and you haven't done any renovations, it might be some time to renovate, because that's going to be important to the appraisal as well as the buyer and the interest to your property as well. So sometimes we have programs that you can have all of the work done. They do all of it, and then you pay when the seller pays when they at the close of escrow. And so when they get their money from the house, then they pay, so you don't have to pay out of pocket right then. And that always is very helpful, whether it's just painting and carpet or flooring, or it's a huge renovation. A lot of the companies we work with do all of that, and then you pay later. So that's a really good choice for people too. But when you redo it, more interest will come to your property. You're going to get more money for your property, and the appraisal will definitely be valued higher. But you don't have to do everything, just the important things. And so one of the other things is, you're going to definitely want to compare your home. And this is what I do coming in. I pull comps of the property, comparables of what's for sale in the market, what's been sold, what is pending. And I show that to the sellers prior to them even working with me, because it's very important that I hear this all the time, I'm going to price my house at this or whatever. And I'm like, yeah, but you're pricing it at the price where it's they have a bigger lot. You're pricing it at the same price where they have a bigger lot, they have an extra bedroom, their whole house is remodeled, and yours isn't. You can't compare that. You have to compare apples to apples. And so it's very important to look at the comparables and then come up with a price that the seller will come up with a price that goes with the market, that goes with their property type. And so you can't just say, oh, it all sold. If they're all have pools and they're all have an extra bedroom and they all have all these different things, you need to make sure that you are ahead of the game, you're aware of what's going on in your market, and you're priced comparable to the homes that are like yours in your market. Super, super important. Once again, price it right. That helps the appraisal. It helps the appraiser, the agent, your home as a seller, and it helps the buyer too. Everything just plays together like, that the perfect symphony. And so you want to make sure that you are definitely pricing your home right. I cannot stress that enough. So I got a lot of this information from Redfin and different things like Realtor.com. And it really, these things are very important so that you can get the most value for your home when it's appraised. That will help the whole transaction go a lot more smoothly. I hope this helped, and like I said, thank you for putting up with the wind and my little pup jumping up on me. His name's Koa, he's adorable. So are our other two, I love them to pieces. But anyway, please make sure that if you found this valuable, you can comment below. We love to hear your thoughts, and we love to we've covered many videos of people asking about certain topics, so that it provides a lot of value for you guys. If you could like, subscribe, and hit that bell, that helps us out so much, so we can keep making videos like this. And whether it's wind, dogs, or whatever, we're coming to provide value for you. Anyway, if a lot of this information, like when I do 800,000, is for Corona, California and the surrounding areas. And if you have any questions, comments, concerns, we're here to answer those. We're here to be a resource, and we're here to provide value. We love you guys. Thank you so much for supporting us, and we hope you find a lot of value in what we do, because that's the most important thing for us that we can give to you. And so you can check us out on Instagram and Facebook at Vivid Lifestyle Realty. And then our website is vividlifestylerealty.com. And there's blogs on there. There's property searches. Please reach out anytime if you need anything, and we'd be happy to help. I hope you have a wonderful day, and we'll see you on the next one.